Hello and welcome back. So today we're looking at the Fear and Dead Men expansion for Star Wars Shatterpoint. This marks quite a critical phase in the game in that we get an introduction of Galactic Empire forces. We have had some previously in the Inquisitorius box, and we'll get back to that in a minute. But this is kind of the first from the original movie era that we get in the game. So very, very cool. I know that we did previously get the Darth Vader and Obi-Wan Kenobi kind of terrain pack and that kind of thing. I forget what the name of that box was. But this is the first actual squad we get. So very, very cool indeed. What I will say, something important with this that we need to remember if you're thinking of playing competitively with this particular squad in mind, I would urge you to maybe wait before you forge ahead with it. The reason is that all of these forces have the Galactic Empire tag on them, which you can see here. And the Stormtrooper and Stormtrooper Sergeant have the Stormtrooper tag as well. And that is important in that there are no other forces available within the game that give any benefit to those tags. So for example, the Galactic Empire tag is held only by these guys and from the forces in the Inquisitorius squad box. So they all have it and these all have it. However, there is only these guys won't receive any buffs from the Inquisitorius side because none of their abilities utilize the Galactic Empire tag. And in terms of buffing the other way, Darth Vader has got one ability that allows them to dash, and Stormtrooper Sergeant has, where are we? It has a few buffs as well for Galactic Empire stuff. We'll go through this individually in a minute, but yeah, certainly as in terms of some good synergy between them. There's a little bit goes that way to the Inquisitors, nothing comes back the other way. So there's no Inquisitor buffs or anything like that can be given to a Galactic Empire forces from here. So important to remember that the base stats for this are very, very good, but they will, synergy-wise, massively improve over time as we start to get more Galactic Empire forces in. If you think about the Galactic Republic and other expansions for the game, there are lots and lots of different synergies that go between the different squad packs and that kind of thing. And that will be the same for these guys, but it's just that those boxes aren't out yet. Okay, I hope that makes sense. Now let's get into it. So we'll have a very quick look at the models. We'll start with Vader. So I haven't painted any of these. I've just primed Vader in black. So let's hope you see enough detail there. But yeah, he's very awesome. So that's Darth Vader. Next up, here is our Stormtrooper Sergeant. Let's say I love the Shatterpoint minis. That kind of 40mm scale really does great benefit cinematically for the game. Okay, that's our first Stormtrooper, and our other one, extremely similar. Very cool. Okay, so we've discussed synergies and that kind of thing, and basically, yeah, so we know that these guys don't sync up with anything else at the moment. But let's look at the base information for all of these different units because they are very good. We'll look at Vader first. Oh, sorry, there's one more thing I should add before we move on. And that is that our Sergeant is 3PC. Now, previously to this, all of the, let's think, all of the Dark Forces from the game, every single one of the secondary units has been 4PC. And that has stopped us from playing our entire Inquisitorius list. So the other Vader and the 4 units from the Inquisitors box makes up basically 2 leaders. So the other Vader and the head Inquisitor. There's 1 secondary and there's 2 supporting. The Vader and the leader from that box add up to 15 SP, and the other 3 units from them make up to 12. So we needed a 3 PC secondary unit that would be able to fit into that squad and make it work, all from the same era and that kind of thing. Now we can do that with the Stormtrooper Sergeant, because he is the only 3 PC secondary unit that is available for the Dark Forces. So now we are able to do that, which is a very, very good thing. So anyone who had any great ambitions to have a full Inquisitorious force, you can now absolutely do it. They will buff each other fantastically well, except for the Stormtrooper Sergeant. He will not... he has got a couple of buffs available for them. We'll get to those in a minute. But yeah, I thought that was interesting to note, that we can start running those lists now a little bit better. Now, let's look at Vader first. Okay. So, first of all, abilities. You do not know the power of the dark side. At the start of this unit's activation, it may remove 2 damage or 1 condition from itself, then refresh 1 force token. Very, very cool. So removing 2 damage at the start of your turn, every turn, very, very good. So his base damage or health is 12. That is the highest in the game. It's the same as the other Darth Vader. That was another 12 as well. But there's nothing else that matches that. The closest that comes to it is 11. And that is, I believe, Anakin Skywalker and General Grievous. So yeah, good health already, and he gets to remove damage at the start of his turn. So very, very good. Anger, hate, aggression. 1 character in this unit may dash. If it does, the character adds 3 dice to its next attack roll during this activation. If that attack roll contains 1 or more failed results, this unit gains exposed after the attacker's resolve. Now, if we look at his stats, so on his more attacking side, he already rolls 8 dice. So he's rolling 11 dice in attack if he uses 1 force token to be able to do this. Now, that is amazing. And if you look at how his attacks kind of match up, he can do up to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10 damage with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 successes. So he can do 10 damage, and if he gets 1 more, he can, he can fire off 1 of his abilities as well. So all of that with 11 dice, which is crazy. It's a really huge amount. So yeah, interesting stuff there. The only problem is that he gains exposed after the attack's resolved. So yeah, so not without its drawbacks. But if we look at his more defensive side, he rolls 7 in attack, so that would go up to 10, but he gets to roll 6 in defense. So I would be inclined to take this one as what you go for. Maintain that extra saving roll, that extra saving dice, while still rolling 10 dice in attack. So that's very important for me. Huge. Okay. Next up, you are unwise to lower your defenses. This again costs 1 force point. When a character in this unit is targeted by a melee attack, this unit may use this ability. After the attack is resolved, if the attack roll contained 1 or more failed results, the attacking unit suffers 3 damage. That's quite a common one for quite a few of the force users and that kind of thing, particularly the strong ones. And yeah, very, very good indeed. Very much worth it, but costs a force token, which I don't believe it does on all of the other ones. I don't think it does. Okay, next up. Perhaps I can find new ways to motivate them. When a character in this unit wounds an enemy unit, after the effect is resolved, another Galactic Empire character may dash. So just a real reminder, Galactic Empire is basically these guys plus the Inquisitors. You cannot hide forever. At the end of this unit's activation, if no character in this unit wounded an enemy unit during that activation, and if this unit's order card is not in the order deck or in reserve, shuffle its order card into your order deck. That's crazy. That is unbelievable. If you don't wound someone, you get to basically shuffle this back into your deck and, activate him much more sooner. That, for me, is outrageously powerful. And don't forget, as more Galactic Empire forces come in, this is going to get stronger. This is going to be an unbelievable list. So, but that's it for Darth Vader. Very, very cool, exceptionally strong, dealing out damage, reducing his own damage, all those kind of things. Very, very cool. Right, let's look at the Stormtrooper Sergeant. Inexorable Advance. At the start of this activation, you may choose an allied Galactic Empire supporting unit. Each character in the chosen unit may move. Then any characters if any characters move, the chosen unit suffers 1 damage. Sorry, I say move, I mean advance. That is massive. That's huge. For the sake of 1 damage, that, if you get what I mean, that at the start of your turn, turn 1 in Shatterpoint, you know, almost guaranteed to be on 2 objectives depending on where you load out and that kind of thing. Very, very cool. Massive. So a huge buff straight away. Next up, Imperial Firepower. Choose an enemy character within 4 of 2 or more allied Galactic Empire characters. The chosen character gains pinned or disarmed. So again, very, very important. And if you trigger it at the right time as well, you can massively buff your other characters indirectly for the next turn. So very, very cool. Next up, Coordinated Offensive. When a character in this unit or another allied Stormtrooper character makes an attack as part of a combat action, before dice are rolled, this unit may use this ability. Add 1 dice to the attack roll for each Stormtrooper unit other than the attacking unit that is within 5 and line of sight of the target. So interesting that it says that each allied Stormtrooper unit other than the attacking unit that is within 5 and line of sight of the target. So that tells me, and it was obvious anyway, we're going to get quite a few different types of Stormtroopers as we go through. And like I said before, that is going to buff this guy over time. So I imagine realistically, you could get up to 3 other Stormtrooper units eventually to buff this guy. So that means that for that attack, if they're within 5 and they are in line of sight of an enemy, you're rolling 9 dice for that ability, or just 6 with just 1, which is or just 7 with 1. So that's massive. That's very, very good stats. And then finally, we have only Imperial Stormtroopers are so precise. Characters in this unit have sharpshooter 1. So yeah, very cool. It's funny, only Imperial Stormtroopers are so precise. It's almost like they haven't seen the movies. But yeah, very, very good. Now, in terms of their tree, what can we divine from this? 1, 2, 3, maximum of 5 damage. Some little buffs for healing as well. 1 auto heal for the first wound, and another one on the 4th. Lots of shoves available. Options for pinned and for repositions. So yeah, pretty versatile, the Stormtrooper Sergeant. I'd say, you know, as good as any other secondary unit. Right, let's check out the Stormtroopers. Okay, assault tactics. Each character in this unit may dash, then this unit may suffer one damage to immediately perform a focus action. Okay, very good. So basically, they spend a force, they get to dash, and then take a health instead of spending another force to do a focus action. So very, very good. And I suppose actually you could, if you didn't want to take the damage, you could just spend another force. Oh no, you couldn't. Yeah, you could just spend another force to focus anyway, because you're using the ability and not one of your actions. So very good. Next one is for the Empire. This also costs 1 token. Choose an enemy character engaged with 1 or more characters in this unit, and one of the allied characters it is engaged with. Push the chosen enemy character 2 away from the chosen allied character. This unit then gains exposed. And then finally, they have the same ability as the Sergeant. Only Imperial Stormtroopers are so precise, so they have Sharpshooter 1. So, yes, so to sum up really, general stats-wise, this is a good list. It is limited in terms of keyword buffs and that kind of thing, but it will dramatically improve over time. So, lots to come for this one. I may even decide to re-review this in a few months' time, depending on how it changes. Now, this is the first review I'm doing for all the boxes that have been released recently. The other reviews will come up over the next week or so, week to 10 days. So I'll have a few days off, then I'll push out another one. I hope you like the reviews. If you have any comments or pointers on it or anything like that, anything I'm not covering that you want to know, be sure to kind of let me know in the comments, and we will and I will address that definitely. But certainly, I mean, look, Darth Vader, just stats alone, 8 attacks, 5 defense. Actually, funny enough, on this side, which is the lightsaber attacks, he doesn't have a ranged weapon, but he does on his more defensive side. I call it his more defensive side. They're completely different. So, for example, on this, what I call more defensive side, it does kind of make sense. So on the attack expertise, if he gets 4+, he gets 2 crits. Whereas on the other side, he gets 1 crit and 3 hits. So quite a big difference really between the two. But yeah, exciting stuff anyway. I'll leave it there. I'll stop waffling. Thanks very much for watching, guys. Much appreciated. Like and subscribe and all that good stuff, and I'll see you soon.